Hey guys, thank you for joining us today. I am joined by Derek from Unsanctioned Pro. How you doing, man?
Great, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure doing it. And first, before we talk anything else, that is one hell of a beard, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been growing it
So,
for a while.
sorry, man. I appreciate the beard, so I had to get that out of the way. You know, there's a bearded brotherhood. If people don't realise that, so
Absolutely. Yeah.
hell yeah, man. But yeah, how's your day going anyway? What's it like over there? Whereabouts are you as well?
I'm in Columbus, Ohio. It's pretty cold right now. Not a whole lot going on. It's an easy Sunday. So.
Yeah, same over here. It's sunny at the moment, but we are potentially getting snow tomorrow, so we'll
Oh yeah.
see. Yeah,
I think
typical UK man. It's one weather, then it's a different day. It's completely different. It just
Ohio is very similar, actually. Yeah, we had some snow flurries about 2 days ago, I think. So.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. I look out my window. It's blue sky, it's sunshine. Yeah, tomorrow apparently we're getting snow. So I mean, you can't write this shit, man. You really can't. But,
Yeah.
obviously, Mania week are coming up, but before we do that, let everyone know a little bit about Unsanctioned. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so we're a company that was founded in late 2017. We had our first show in June 2018. Like I said, based out of Columbus, Ohio. Since then, we've been able to put on 11 shows, no, 10 shows, every couple of months, just, kind of slowly building it up. And at this point now, we're going into the biggest show of our existence
Yeah.
because we actually managed to get an opportunity to jump on GCW's Collective Weekend. So
Yeah.
we're really excited about that coming up.
Yeah, I mean that's huge, dude. I mean, obviously before we talk that as well, I mean, we're in the middle of the pandemic. I know things are looking better. I mean, how's that affected business?
It's been crazy. Like we weren't a promotion that ran every week or every month even from our start because we knew going into this like none of us involved previously had wrestling experience. It's
Mm.
literally it was me and two friends initially. Now it's me and one other friend, and we knew that we needed to take things slow and show by show figure stuff out. So when things shut down with the pandemic, it wasn't too crazy
Yeah.
because we were already used to going a month, 2 months, 3 months between shows sometimes. So we did have a break. We had to cancel a show in June of or March of last year, and then I guess it was about 8 months between shows for
Yeah.
us. We actually went to Indiana because we weren't able to run in Ohio. Through a relationship that we have with Paradigm Pro Wrestling, we actually used their venue and we live streamed that on IWTV Live for the first time. So it was kind of weird. Everybody else shut down, but we went live for the first time in the middle of the pandemic. So, and then we were able to do like a no fans taping for the Hardcore Cup, which is the
Yeah.
most recent thing we put out. And then I think when we put out Hardcore Cup, more people started paying attention because it wasn't too long after that everything fell into place and we were announced for the Collective.
Yeah, I mean that's huge, man, as well. And before I mentioned the collective, you mentioned IWTV as well. I mean,
Yeah.
how important's that been for you? Because I mean, that's been huge for us over in the UK because we've discovered so many companies, so many new talent. How important's that been for you?
Oh, it's crazy, man. Like the moment that we got into this, that was one of the things that we wanted to do. It was one of those like because at the time, right, when we founded the company late 2017, early 2018, it existed and it was a platform, but it seemed like they were only dealing with certain companies and they only had a
Yeah.
few promotions. So when we were able to get on towards the end of 2019, just to have our library on there and start putting our shows up, I mean, the amount of people that are able to watch everything that we're doing, we have, there's a fan in the UK. Her name's Joy. She'll probably watch this. Um, and she's a huge fan. So we would have our live events coming up, and when everybody's posting on social media about it's Unsanctioned Pro Day, you've got Joy in the UK also excited, but she knows that she's got like a 2 or 3 week wait until she can even watch the show.
Yeah. Oh,
So
bless.
it's been awesome, man. I love IWTV, and it's an awesome platform.
Yeah, honestly, dude, we're the same. Obviously, we haven't had a show over here since last March. So
Wow.
obviously we're huge indie fans anyway, but the US scene at the minute has just been on fire. And IWTV, like I said, it's really given us that chance to find new companies like yourself, like New Wave Pro. We've become really good friends with Elle there.
Okay.
It's helped us discover all you guys, and it's really, really incredible. Obviously, speaking of the collective, GCW, I would arguably say they're the company that's really, started the independent scene going again in the US. Would you agree?
Yeah, they
The
were the
pandemic.
first. Yeah, they were the first company to really put in the effort, find a place that would let them do it and do it safely outdoors and whatnot. So on a large scale, like them and ICW No Holds Barred also, they both made a point of saying, okay, we're allowed to do shows. What's the safest way possible? We're
Yeah.
doing these outside. So that was, the whole string of shows last summer and going into the fall, even into the winter in some cases. Um, so it's really cool that companies like GCW are making a point of trying to do it safely, or as
Yeah.
safe as possible given the circumstances.
I mean, and that brings me, how cool is it to be a part of the collective then? I mean, Mania Weekend, like you said, it's huge.
It's mind blowing, man. Like, I mean, everybody has to have goals, right? So
Yeah.
when I was like, I'm going to start promoting shows, and I got like 2 shows under my belt, and I was like, man, you know what? I've actually got a goal. I'd like to get on the collective someday. But that's one of those things, right, where you can't just go and hound the people running GCW.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want on. This was a situation where through networking, and they knew who I am, they knew I run shows, and they came to me and they asked. So to be a part of it is mind blowing. The fact that it gets to be in Tampa, Florida, which it's basically like a small vacation. You have to be careful. You have to wear a mask and
Yeah.
distance and all of those things. But man, it's huge. It's like I said, my personal goal, and I hit it. So about 3 years in, and we're about to do it.
That's it, though. I mean, you hit it. Not only you hit the collective, but during Mania Weekend as well. I mean, that's insane, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. Ordinarily, they always try to do them on Mania weekend, but the last year and a half of
Yeah.
everybody's lives has been kind of crazy. So, yeah, man, it's crazy to think that my show is literally running against WrestleMania. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Oh God, it is as well, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, we have a 7 p.m. Saturday start time locally, which is the same time as WrestleMania. So they'll be
Wow.
having WrestleMania within like 10, 15 miles. And I'll
That's
be running
insane.
a show at the Cuban Club.
That's insane, dude. Well, I mean, we're going to be watching it. We've got, I've booked 2 weeks off work as well, so I'm watching all the collective. I'm watching
Oh,
Mania.
yeah.
I'm just going to be binge watching all the wrestling I can. But I
This is the
mean,
best time to be a wrestling fan
oh,
between all the streaming services,
it is. It's incredible, man. I mean, what's it like as well? Obviously, I mean, you look at the shows over that weekend as well. I mean, you Wave are going to be there. Effie's Big Gay Brunch. I mean, you're a part of all these other incredible shows going on. I mean, that must be humbling.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. There's a lot of incredibly talented wrestlers on the weekend, and all of the individual shows spotlighting all the different genres and things that can be brought into the wrestling world. It's really fun. And to think that when they're presenting different flavors, so to speak, they're putting my flavor in there to
Yeah.
show everybody, which is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait for it. But tell us about it. I mean, Fueled by Spite. I mean, tell us about the card, man, because I've looked at the card again today, and I'm like, it's incredible. I mean, it's just, and what I love about it as well is there's some people that are new to me. There's some people we've spoken to before, and
Sure.
the card's incredible, man. I mean, tell me how it's shaped up. I mean, it looks incredible.
Yeah, man. So it's one of those things where as soon as we started putting shows together, even locally, a lot of the people that we're featuring on this card are people we've already been working with. So names like Myron Reed and Trey Lamar, for example,
Yeah,
they've got a match. They've literally been at each other's throats at Unsanctioned Pro since January of 2019. Every show we've ever ran, in some way, shape, or form, they've interacted, and most generally it was against each other. So they've had 2 singles matches. The last time they wrestled one-on-one for us was a street fight at
yeah,
Unsanctioned Pro 8, which you can watch on IWTV. Fucking insane match. You would not expect it from those two. So what I was getting at is, we've had these relationships with a lot of talent that have grown and they're doing things. But also we want to continue to bring in new faces and bring
yeah.
in people that might not be expected. Another example of something you might not expect is Casanova Valentine versus Hoodfoot.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that one stood out to me. Yeah, because we spoke to Casanova a few weeks ago.
okay,
He's one hell of a character, isn't he, as well?
He is, yeah. He's a hell of a guy too. Like, I'm really happy that, and that's another guy. Speaking of past relationships, we've been working with Casanova since 2018. He was on our second show. He's held the hardcore title for longer than anybody.
Yeah,
That's another thing, people who aren't familiar with the product, we've had a hardcore title with a 24/7 rule since October of 2018, before WWE brought it back. It was one of those things where it was like, not a lot of places are doing it.
yeah,
We run in a state where death matches aren't something we can do all the time, so let's have some fun with this.
yeah.
So we've got that element to our shows right now. Our current hardcore champion is actually Alex Colon. The belt's
Oh,
missing. We don't know where it is. But when Alex won the Hardcore Cup, he became the champion, and we're trying to figure out where the belt is. So,
yeah.
um,
What's that like as well? Obviously, I mean, just touching on that, because obviously we spoke to Alex as well and Casanova and a few other deathmatch guys.
okay.
What's your take on deathmatch? Because we're big fans of it, and I think lately, the last few years especially, people have found a new respect for it. There's storytelling
Yeah.
behind it. I mean, what's your thoughts?
I've always been a huge fan of deathmatch wrestling. Personally, when it comes to like what I would subscribe to, if you could put together a lineup, it's CZW, it's PWG, it's ECW,
Yeah.
it's like early to mid 2000s Ring of Honor.
Mhm.
So that's just the type of stuff I like. So as far as the deathmatch wrestling, I've always been a fan of it, and I've always recognized that there's levels to it. There's guys that are just deathmatch guys, and there are
Yep.
deathmatch wrestlers. And
Yes.
there is a difference, and that's not to disrespect anybody. There's different things within every genre of wrestling. So, um, when we started booking our shows, it was kind of like, let's get some good indie wrestlers who wrestle a fast-paced, high-flying style, but also let's grab deathmatch guys, put them in the same ring with them, and let the deathmatch guys show that they can hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan. Like I said, we spoke to some of these guys. John Wayne Murdoch, another one,
Yeah.
Oren Vi, and it is. I think they're doing an incredible job with the deathmatch wrestling. They're really they've made an even bigger fan of me out of it. So I'm stoked the fact that you've got Casanova on the show. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I
I
mean, I,
mean,
I love that guy.
yeah, and you mentioned John Wayne Murdoch. Another example is the Rejects have been on basically every show we've ever
Yeah,
had. This is one of the first shows that they're going to miss because they have prior commitments with ICW No Holds Barred, and I completely understand that. So, they're going to do their thing over there. They've been on a hot streak for a long time, basically the whole time the company's existed. So, um, they're our tag champs. They'll be back around, and yeah, I mean, we've also got. Let's see what else is lined up for this card. Lord Crew. I'm sure you guys have been becoming increasingly familiar with him lately, as he's been doing
yes.
more stuff with ICW and No Peace
Mhm.
Underground. So we're gonna have Lord Crew versus PB Smooth. I'm not sure. Are you super familiar with AIW out of Cleveland? But PB Smooth's been a
Uh,
staple there for a while.
I'm familiar with AIW, yeah. I'm not again like Smooth's a guy who's very new to me, but
Sure. Yeah, of
this is
course.
this is what I love though. I mean, it's allowing me the chance to look at these new guys who I've not seen before.
Yeah, and Smooth is awesome, man. He's a very athletic big man, and him and Crew have had another match in the past, so I
Mm.
know that this one's going to be a banger because in 2019 when they met up the first time at Unsanctioned Pro, it was a crazy match for two guys their size to do what they do athletically and to bring it the way they do in the ring. So um, I'm really excited to see how that one plays out.
Yeah, I mean another guy as well. There's a few, but I'll start as well with obviously Jordan Oliver. Jordan's someone me and Callum know. He's a great guy. We have all the time in the world for Jordan. I mean he's another guy on the show. I mean that's a guy who's got one hell of a future ahead of him.
Yeah, Jordan, the sky's the limit for Jordan, and I think he knows that.
Mm.
Um, and this isn't like breaking the fourth wall or anything, because he's very vocal about this on Twitter. Jordan's a student of the game. Like
Yeah.
his whole MO is he wants to be a better wrestler, and I've had him around also. He's somebody that since I think it was the fourth show was the first time he came around because of scheduling conflicts. He was supposed to be on the second, and no matter what's going on, he's watching a match or he's in the locker room talking to somebody and asking advice. He's always trying to step it up. His merch game through Jonesy has just
Yeah.
skyrocketed. So he's doing everything he can to become a better wrestler.
Yeah, no, he is. And he's such a nice guy as well. But I've got the card in front of me, and I'm just looking at and the match that I think I'm looking forward to the most. Another guy we've spoke to, Cole Radrick. I mean, Cole Radrick versus Jake something. I mean, that's I think that's the match
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the most. That's really got my attention.
Yeah, Cole Radrick versus Jake something is going to be interesting as well. Cole's a one of those young talents who's just starting to break out in the last couple of years. He's getting more eyes on him.
Yeah.
Um, and Jake something is a guy who's kind of flown under the radar to some, unless you were really heavily tapped into the U.S. indie scene in the Midwest.
Yeah.
You might not be super aware of him, but thanks to Impact Wrestling, he's getting more and more out there, and it's just two guys that I think are on fire right now. So match wise, like it's just going to be nonstop would be the best
Yeah.
word for it, I think.
Yeah, that's the one that when I was going through the card, that's the one that stood out. I mean, the card's incredible, but that's the one that kind of got me. I was like, oh, yeah, that's mouth watering. That's got me hooked straight away just seeing that one. I didn't realize well, Jake something's pretty huge as well. I didn't realize how big the guy is.
Yeah, man, he's a big guy. Like this is one of those situations where Cole he might have bit off a little more than he can chew when he's bugging the booking committee to see what kind of matches are going to happen in Tampa. Uh, another thing too I wanted to bring up real quick is you mentioned Jordan Oliver. He's wrestling a guy named Lexus Montez.
Yes.
And again, like I mentioned with Jake, one of those guys that's kind of been in the Midwest area, and if you really aren't paying attention, you may not know about him. Him and Jordan is, in my opinion, if you could just grab a match from like New Japan Best of Super Juniors,
Yeah.
and plug it in on a random indie show in Florida, that's what's about to happen. So if you're a fan of that style of wrestling, like you definitely need to watch this match.
Yeah, I do honestly. I'm excited for the whole weekend. I think I'm more excited for the indie shows than I am WrestleMania itself. I
Yeah.
mean, I really am. Obviously it's WrestleMania. I'm going to watch it, but I'm so excited for all these shows. I mean, you've got again another one. I'm really excited as well by Scramble Mania,
Yeah.
because obviously Billy Starks is in that as well. We've spoke to Billy and she's an absolute sweetheart. So I'm looking forward to that. My money's on Billy, by the way.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so that match is going to be awesome. You're going to have Sage Phillips, both members of Awesome Odyssey, Billy Starks, Robert Martyr, Rob Killjoy of the Ugly Ducklings, and Freddie Hudson. So that looks to be a very fast, high-flying affair. Don't know quite yet if it's going to be elimination rules or not, so we're going to kind of have to see how things shake out. But you say your money's on Billy with that match, man. It could really be anybody because
It could be anybody's.
scrambles come in. It could be anybody's
Yeah,
game.
it could, and obviously the main event. Everett Cross is someone that I've become familiar with.
Okay.
Aaron Williams is a name that I'm hearing a hell of a lot of good things about lately.
Oh yeah.
What we're going to expect with that match, and what's your thoughts on obviously Aaron representing the company?
Aaron is one of those under the radar people as well.
Mm.
It came to my attention after the fact, and I think this is a further testament to what I'm about to say. This is the first time Aaron has had a match on WrestleMania weekend. And I
Wow.
personally was not aware of that. He's been a staple in the Ohio indie scene for a very long time. Like even before I was actively trying to go to shows, I could recall seeing Aaron Williams on posters in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So it's like to realize that he did what he did, had to do what he had to do, I should say, to make a statement for our champion to even want this match,
Yeah.
let alone the fact that Everett Cross is one of those guys that also people don't really look at. They don't look at us as a company. So when you have three factors as the company itself, both people in the main event who some people might know who they are, a lot of people probably don't. It means a lot to me because I know that they're going to deliver, and I know that everybody who's watching is going to be like, how the fuck have we not known about
Yep.
this company? How have we not known about Aaron Williams? How have we not been aware of Everett Cross? So that's kind of like the mission statement of our company. If you look at the title of the show, Fueled by Spite, a lot of it is the truth, because as a company, I kind of feel like we've been overlooked and slept on, even though we've been widely available for over a year and a half on streaming. You know, I see the invoices every month. I know how many people are actually watching our shows. So good wrestling's out there. People say the indies are dying. Is it dying, or are you not looking for it?
Hell yeah, man. No, I agree with you 100% there. They're clearly not looking for it because it's certainly not dead and it's certainly not dying.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, after Mania weekend, I mean, what's coming up for you? What's the plans for after Mania weekend?
Nothing I can announce quite yet. We do have some stuff in the works. I've mentioned previously before, if anybody's ever heard me on any other interviews, I don't do a ton, but I have brought this up. Um, we're really gunning for the East Coast this year.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do something on the East Coast. Hopefully that works out. Um, hopefully a return to Indiana as well. And then last but certainly not least, we're coming back home because it's been since January of 2020 since we had a show with a live crowd in Ohio.
Yeah.
So we really, really, really want to get that going. So I'm really hoping that that's something that we can get worked out and announce pretty soon after Mania.
Excellent. I mean, Ohio and Indiana are quite close together as well, right?
Immediately next door, yeah.
There we go, because we came to Indiana a couple of years ago, and we came to Chicago for All In.
Okay.
But we've got a friend who actually lives in Indiana,
Okay.
so we stayed with him, completely fell in love with the area. So we've got plans to get back out there at some point. So, I mean,
Nice.
hopefully we can make it happen when there's a show going on and come through to Ohio as well.
That would be awesome, yeah. Depending on where you are in Indiana, I mean, it might be like a 4 or 5 hour drive at most.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I forget whereabouts in Indiana he is, but we're definitely coming back over there, dude. So I think there'll be a big chance you'll see us at some point.
Awesome. Yeah, let me know, man. That'd be great.
Before we let you go, though, dude, as well, I mean, let everyone know where they can find your social media. Plug the show again, by all means, please.
Yeah, so the show is going to be Saturday, April 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's fueled by Spite as a part of GCW's Collective Remix. Going to be live on Fight from the Cuban Club in Tampa, Florida. We do have tickets available, and you can also stream the show online, like I said, through Fight. You can go to unsanctionedpro.com or 614wrestling.com. Either one will go to our website. That's going to have links to everything. Our official web store has got the ticketing and all of our merch. There's also going to be links for discount hotels if you're going to be in Tampa, as well as the collective ticket packages. And then also we've got an online store with deathmatchworldwide.com. They do ship to the UK. So if you have any interest, or if anybody listening over in the UK wants to grab some Unsanctioned Pro t-shirts to support us, they do ship international. And also, we just launched a Patreon. So patreon.com/unsanctionedpro. It's currently set up with a couple of different tiers. They might get adjusted. We might make them a little cheaper and add some different perks, kind of move things around because we're just starting with it. And then, of course, all of the regular social medias. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter @UnsanctionedPro, and you can find us on there.
Excellent, dude. Well, I can't thank you enough. Like I said at the start, the card is incredible. I genuinely cannot wait for this. Saturday, April 10th. I know what I'm going to be watching. Mania's on the network. I can watch that later on. All right. I know what I'm watching first, but dude, please, as well, like I said, come back on. Get me after Mania, a couple of weeks' time. We'll do a review of the show. Get you back on then.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, man. Thank you.
Now, Derek, Unsanctioned Pro, thank you very much.
Thank you.